What's going on, family? This is True coming at you live with another watch this for the week. Few notable things this week. We have some red folders. Wednesday FOMC meeting minutes. It's not the actual FOMC meeting, it's just the minutes to go over the last FOMC. That's on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Thursday, we have non-farm and unemployment change, unemployment rate, and unemployment claims. And on Friday, we have flash manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI. So that's what we're looking at. We also have some notable earnings coming up. Tuesday before open, we have Home Depot, Baidu, Futu. We have PDD, Klarna. After close, we have actually nothing notable there. Wednesday, before open, we have Target, TJX, Lowe's, and after close on Wednesday, we have Nvidia, which is going to be a big one. Palo Alto, looking forward to that. And on Thursday before open, we have Walmart, Zim, Carnival. We also have after close, Webull, Gap, and on Friday we have BJ. So some notable earnings to look forward to coming up this week. We're gonna jump in straight into this watch list. This is gonna be a short watch list, mainly because I've been noticing during this current market cycle around after Monday close, a lot of great setups. Perhaps most of the time, the setups after close on Monday look better than the setups that closed on Friday. So, gonna let Monday open. We're gonna enter light anything that looks really, really good on Monday, but I want to let Monday open because I want to see what closed on Monday because a lot of good setups been setting up for Tuesday going into the week instead of Friday going into the week. So I want to look out for that. So short watch this for this one. I'm not gonna throw 30 tickets. Nice and simple. I'm gonna start off with key, something a little different, right? I like this key. It doesn't have the best week. What actually stood out to me with this key trade is the daily. It's the daily. So very simple. I like the way the daily is holding this demand zone range. So I like that. And the reason why I like this is because we see how price reacted during this range between 1754 and 1717. And ironically, it is 1714 areas previous year close, and then we got the previous quarter low here as well. So let's check that out. I believe that's the previous quarter low. Yeah, that's the previous quarter low. So I like the way this looks. I like this. This is, simple demand zone play. Nothing too crazy. You just look to the left, you see price like to run up in that range as well. So I'm looking essentially to play that same range. So we see that this PWL or previous year close and previous quarter low area is a very significant area. And ironically, that's where price wicked that and turned into a hammer on Friday. Very simple. I'm looking for a 2-2 rev above the day. That will be our core entry. So 2-2 rev above the day, above 17.63. We want to target the previous day high of 1793 and then previous week 1808. Then we want to see if we can get up to this 1847 range. All right. I'm looking at 21 November contracts, 18C. If we hit 1847 by Friday, that will be a 220% return on investment. And with the December, if we hit at least the previous week high by this range, that could be over 120%. If we hit 1847, that's over 120% with the December contracts. But we see what happened. If we hit that 1847 by December, no, if we hit that 1847 by the 28th, that's over 80% return on investment with the December contract. So key look pretty decent. Again, we're just playing that demand area. This is nice for small ports as well. Not a lot of continuity on this one, I would say. So it's not a crazy A+ setup, because we don't have that continuity. Sometimes you don't need continuity for it to pop, but just keep that in mind. Looking at this setup, we close red on the week. Again, we're just playing these lows, trying to get that entry off the wicks and come in and hopefully shoot back to the upside based on what we've been doing in the previous days. So we'll see what happened with that one. Next ticker I'm going to be looking at is CVX. I think this is a banger of a setup. Let's start this one from the top. I'm going to start with a 12-month. First of all, a 12-month is still outside year. We did pull back after we hit the previous year high of 167.11, which is not too bad. Looking at the 3-month quarter, we got the chance to trigger 212 reversal to the upside. We triggered a 212 reversal to the upside on this quarter at 161.86, and we are not far from that. We're not far from that. We are currently sitting at 157, so a couple dollars up. Trigger that 212 to the upside. On the month, we can also trigger 22 rev on the month above 159.18. So we got stack triggers, we got a quarterly trigger, and we got a monthly trigger, not too far from each other. That's something we like to see. In addition to that, we got ourselves a nice little bullish pennant. Got ourselves a nice little bullish pennant going on. So there you have it. So definitely want to see this breakout. Let's drop down to the week. Nice, beautiful outside week. I love this outside week, if I'm being honest. I love this outside week, if I'm being honest. And we got a 3-2 trigger on that week as well. First target, previous month high. You want to take out that 159.18. After that, I at least want to see this level hit 160.16 as a target. And then let's see what we get up to these previous quarter highs. The previous quarter high is going to be very reactive, mainly because if you look to the left, that's where price usually sell off. So previous quarter high, look to the left, price sells, price sold here on the 2nd of September 2025. Sold here as well on the 22nd of September. Went crazy sell off. So you want to watch that area. It's very reactive, but look at this build up. It's build up been crazy. We've been waiting for XLE to go crazy for a minute. It's a little wishy-washy, right? So sizing correctly on this one. Be a little patient. I think there's some potential here with this CVX. A lot of potential, to be exact. Let's look at the daily. So we already started to move outside of this pennant on a daily. Again, above Friday's highs, we triggered at 3-2. That's our entry. So entry above 157.95. Again, targeting at a previous month high. I want to point out that we have crazy gap to fill as well. So once we get over this previous quarter high at 161.86, again, that's when we expect this crazy reaction. If we stay above 161.86, if we stay above PQH, we have a nice, beautiful gap to fill, and this is where the contracts can go even crazier. And we want to target 165.85 at that point. Will this happen next week? I'm not sure. But the way XLE been moving, I say give it some patience, give it some time. If you get the December 19 contracts, 165C hitting the target of 159.18, 160.16, 161.86, it's like a 40% range. If we get to that 165.85, and we hit that by the 28th, that's over 180% return on investment. And if we hit the 165.85 target by December 4, that's over 140% return on investment on the December contract. So if we get less time than that, it's going to be more percentage, but we'll be putting more risk on that. Right, so loving this setup. Let's check out the next ticker I have. That is PM. So this is another one that don't have a crazy stack set up on the higher time frames. However, well, this quarterly doesn't look too bad. So right now, speaking of this, right now we're holding the previous quarter low. We're sitting right at the previous quarter low. I think that's pretty important. sitting right at that previous quarter low. And on the month, I love the way this month is developing. We still strong in this month, held the previous month low as well, and we are now fighting its previous quarter low at 155.70. I think that's very important. What we want to do is get above that previous quarter low. We want to get above 155.70. If we hold 155.70, then we got a lot of upside to take out. Go to the week, we did trigger 2 down, 2 up reversal. We did pull back again at that 155.70, and we created 2 double hammers on the daily on top of that. So this is one of the main reasons why I like this setup. On top of that, we got this cup and handle. I don't usually play cup and handles, but usually it got that like bowl structure to get that slight pullback, and then it rips back to the upside. So we got calls above 155.55 that would trigger the 2-2 rev on a daily, and then we want to first target 157.51. Once we get above 157.51, we want to tackle that previous week high. Well, we want to tackle these previous weeks high. So we want to tackle that 160.70 range, and then we want to see what happens from there. Right? I'm looking at the 164 or the 165 cons. And those cons, if we hit the target of 164 by 1128, that's over 120% return on investment. So this was flying when tech was pulling back. So we got to see how these open as well. But again, I like how we formed a double hammer, holding that previous week low, holding these previous lows here, holding the previous daily low, that Thursday low as well. And we want to see if we get that rev back to the upside. This one. Loving that setup. The next ticker I'll be looking at is CLF. So not too many crazy high quality setups, but I like the way price is revealing itself on some of these, or most of these setups rather. Let's check out the monthly. So we had this crazy shooter, 2 up, 2 down, and we end up holding price around the 170s range and the 1070 range and the 1990s range. So the weekly hit, we are still inside on the week, and we doji, so they haven't chosen the direction for this yet. But I want to point to the upside on this one. I mean, if anybody feels savvy enough, you could play the 2-1-2 downside. I'm gonna be looking at the upside for right now. If we do trigger the downside, we reposition or we reassess this trade. But I want to look towards the upside. The reason being is the way the daily closed. So the daily is showing a lot of strength at the previous week close and at the previous week low of 990. Right. Also, on top of that, again, I'm paying attention to my demand area. We got some buying in this range as well. So every time price came in this range, it popped back up, or if it didn't pop back up, it held this range before it did pop back to the upside. So that's what I'm essentially looking for CLF to do here. And with that being said, we get a nice call entry, this 2-2 rev above $10.87. Want to target the highs of that, which is 1121. After we get above 1121, we can hit the previous month low, previous quarter close, and the previous week high, which I believe there will be some turbulence in these ranges. So again, coming back to that week, that when the next week open, we want to target 2-1-2 to the upside. We want to target that 2-1-2 reversal to the upside, 1121. Then we're going to see what happens from there. After we get above the previous week high, we got a pretty nice gap to fill from 1271 to 1396, and in between that we got previous quarter high as well, which is also a target. So once we trigger 2-1-2 above the previous week high, we got to take out 1271, 1305, then 1396. And with these contracts, the way they print, by the time we get to 1271, these will be well over 200, a buck 50% if you got monthlies. So with the 19th December 12, this 19th December's monthlies 12Cs, we target, if we hit at least 12.28 by November 28th, that's over 144%, between 100 and 144%. So you do the math. What happens if we hit that a dollar higher around 1396? The monthlies will range over well 300%. So I love the risk to reward on this one. Contracts are very, very cheap, good for small portfolios. So don't sleep on this one. Right? If we continue to hold this demand area, we can see some nice returns. Last but not least, Microsoft. Keeping this one real simple. It's another like demand zone buy-in kind of play. Aside from that, I do love how the week closed. So we got that 2-on-2 reversal on the week, especially if we trigger up above 511.60. I'm sorry, 513.50. We trigger 513.50. That would trigger 2-on-2 to the upside. After we trigger 2-on-2 to the upside, we want to get up to this previous month close. You want to get up to the previous week high to trigger that, which triggers at 524.86. So, looking at this daily real quick. I love the way price held this range. Again, price seemed to love to hold this range in general. So I'm looking to play that range back to the upside. And with the strong close on Friday, we could play the 2-2 rev above 511.60. And you could day trade this one as well. You don't have to swing this one if you don't want to. Base hits are welcome. Give it a target that 513.50. 517.81, and then we want to get back up to that 524.96. If we start to shoot from there, this could get absolutely crazy. I'm looking at the November 28th 525 Cs. We want to target again 525. And if we hit that by the 21st, that's over 120%. So not bad of a trade. I mean, again, these are rough averages or rough percentages based on the dates. On the Analyze tab on TOS, if we hit those targets way before the expected dates, like November 21st, that means these percentages will be way more. So again, that's my watch list for this week. Probably add more on again by Tuesday. And that's it for me, y'all. Let's make some money this week. Peace out.